everyone, my name is Lila from the Edison Public Library, and I'm here today to show you some more fun crafts to do for the holiday season. Now, winter time is upon us, and I know every winter I love seeing all the decorations that are up, and this year I'm going to show you guys how to make little friends like this. So these are little pinecone elves. They're super easy to make and super fun to hide around the house or put up as ornaments. So let's get into it. So for this craft, you're going to need some pine cones, a hot glue gun, these little wooden beads. I was able to find these at the Dollar Tree. You can also find them at some crafting places, but any little thing to make a head should work. Scissors, some felt. You can also just use any type of scrap fabric you might have, or paper, that should work as well, and some string. So this is pretty quick and easy to put together, so let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make the little accessories for your elves. So I have a smaller scrap of felt here, so we are going to start with some feet. So there's a couple of different ways to make the feet. Personally, I like making little ovals, and it doesn't matter if they turn out a little wonky because the bottom half is going to be underneath your pine cone. So it's going to look a little bit like that. So I'm just going to shape this guy down just a tiny bit, a little more round. And there we go. We have 1 foot. And let's make a 2nd foot. And these are going to make for lovely decorations. So again, just have fun with it. I've seen some people make skis with the felt. And again, you can just get as creative with it as you want. There we go. We have our little feet for our elf. And why don't we switch up our color to a nice little blue. And we're going to glue all this down later, but I just want to show you guys the basics of how to get everything together. So next we're just going to make a scarf, and the scarf is probably the easiest part because all you have to do is get a little strip of whatever fabric you are using. It doesn't have to be even per se. It just has to be able to fit around your elf's neck. And again, this is something that we can trim down later. And I'm most likely going to end up cutting this guy in half. But all you need is a little bit of a strip, and it's just going to go around your elf's neck. So I'm going to cut that in half. And there we go. So again, probably going to look a little something like that. So we'll stick that to the side for later. And next, we're going to make the hat. So the hat, it might be a little more difficult for some people. But basically what it's going to end up looking like is you'll be able to roll your hat like so. So it's just a little cone. Okay? So it's easier to start from the corner and then make like a little funnel shape. I'm going to start down here. This one's definitely going to be a little too big, but that's okay. I can shave it down. And there we go. And again, it just needs to be able to fold over like that. And this one is definitely a little too big for what I want to do. So I'm going to cut that in half and maybe use that scrap for a scarf later. So again, we'll just give that guy a little trim, trim, trim. And this is going to fit around your wooden bead. Just a little bit like that. Again, this is just samples of what's going to be going on. And I just want to give you guys the basic shape and everything. So these ones aren't going to be perfect per se, but it will look cute at the end of the day. So now that you know the basic shapes of what you're going to be cutting up, again, feel free to get creative with it. I'm going to keep going and see what I can create. I'll see you guys in a bit. So now that you have all your little pieces cut out, we are going to start putting together our pinecone elf. So I usually like to start with the feet just because that stabilizes everything a little bit. So let's turn this guy over. Also, I should put in your mind, if you find that there are pieces in the way, feel free to break them off or use a scissor, just because it makes it a little easier to get things grooving and moving. So let's see, I think I'm gonna have my little guy go that way. Yeah. So you just take a bit of hot glue, put it onto your felt, and then just make sure you do this fairly quickly because you don't want it drying on you before you're all done. And there we go. We have our two little feet on our little guy. And from there, we're gonna go on to our scarf. So the scarf, what I like to do is I like to have it cross over and then I glue it onto my pine cone. Just because from here I can figure out where I wanna put my head. So I'm just gonna make a little cross with this first. Glue it together right there. Boop, 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 boop. And now we'll glue this to our pine cone. So I'm going to put some glue on the other side, as well as where the neck's going to be. And stick that guy on, just so he can get his bearings on this pine cone. So there we go. Once we have all those, it's time to stick on our head. So you should have made a little hole in here. I'll stick some glue in there and then attach our head. There we go. We have the startings of our little elf. And just make sure that the head sticks on right. So now we're going to do the tricky part, which is the hat. So the hats I made may be a little too big. So I'm going to have to shrink that down for them just a tiny bit. And that's why I have the scissor to the side, just in case. So we are going to trim that way. And again, this is just something to have fun with it. There we go. I like the way that looks a little better. So now I am just going to loop him around. Take another peek at it. Okay, I like that. So we are going to start gluing. So I'm going to put a little glue on the top, just so we get that nice little point. And then a little glue just to seal it off. Oh, I'm running out of glue. Oh boy. That's okay though. So I'll get some more glue in this. There we go. Now that I have a little more glue in that, I'm going to trim off some of the excess. And again, this doesn't have to look perfect, it's just something a little fun to have. And now that we have that hat together, I'm gonna put some glue on the inside of it and stick him onto our head. So I'm gonna keep going with these, but this is just a good idea of how it should be looking. So I'm gonna keep going and I'll see you guys in a bit. And after the glue has dried and I have finished decorating them a little bit, these guys are ready to go. So some of them are gonna stand up a little better than others. The ones that don't stand up as well, I have glued some string on the back so they can be ornaments instead. And they can look lovely wherever you decide to put them. You can put them on a wreath, you can stick them on your mantle, wherever you like. So we hope you enjoyed this craft and I hope to see you again real soon. Have a good one.